Oh, hello and welcome and welcome and hello and hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Just a sincere good morning. How are you folks today? Probably no one's watching because I don't tell anyone if I'm going to go live, and I never do. But I wanted to check in with you guys out there in YouTube land, the Turd Army. You guys are absolutely the best. Haven't talked to you in some time. So, wanted to jump over to the YouTube this morning and say hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Guys, it is Monday, July 17, 2023, Topper time check, 6:37 a.m. out here on the Pacific Coast in beautiful, dreary, foggy Los Angeles. It is what the hell is it? 9:30 out in NYC. Hope it's a great day wherever you are. Actually, I'm just very tired. I'm getting my first cup of delicious McDonald's coffee, which is really an underrated coffee, guys. And let me give you a top tip. Good morning, everybody. No, not M. Russo. Thank you guys for joining us. We have two viewers, and that makes you guys extremely important. What do you want? What do you want to stay here? What's it going to take? What's it going to take? No, not M. Russo. You're not going to another live stream. I can't afford to lose you. Guys, so SoFi Technologies, classic little gambit. They pulled on us here this morning. Just a bunch of bullshit, guys. Nobody, I think less and less retail investors put a stop loss in at $9. Because you have to just be a complete moron. It's like wearing a target on your back. Everybody knows exactly what you're going to do, and they just exploit that, guys, over and over and over. The call options, the stop losses. It's because retail investors are so predictable and so emotional that market makers are able to just pick our pockets over and over and over. I learned many years ago to stop taking the analysts at face value and sort of understand what their actual motivations are. At least I think I have. And once I sort of understood that you have to basically stop doing what they want you to do and start doing what they don't want you to do so that you can make money when the market makers move the market rather than, panic when they want you to panic and buy at the highs when they create this narrative, say before earnings, that SoFi is going up, everything looks great. And then, as they suck retail in at 650, then they find analysts to come from respectable analyst houses, but are willing to do sort of these slash and burn downgrades with, sort of ridiculous justifications. So you see that game, guys, over and over and over. It's the phrase, sell the news. It's not, it doesn't come from nowhere, guys. It's there because this happens over and over and over. Like, they create a lot of excitement, a lot of hype around earnings, and then get retail to buy in a run up to earnings, or particularly buy options. They love that. They love getting the retail to just buy a bunch of short term calls around the ER, and then they just, just look at what happened last ER, guys. So I guess the question is, Klaus, another downgrade? Oh my God. There's another downgrade? Klaus, stop being the sober bearer of bad news. I don't see another downgrade here, Klaus. Um, Probably just not looking hard enough. Let's see what they did here. Okay, so yeah, the last thing I'm seeing on tip ranks might not have come through yet, guys. But I'm wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people start to downgrade the stock. Then they'll do a little pump next week, I would suspect, and then they'll try to attack the stock after the ER. I mean, that's what they do, guys. That's what these dogs do. Dogs don't change. Dogs just hunt. Um, Yukeko, hello and good morning. Hello and good morning. Good morning and hello and welcome and good morning and hello, Yukeko. 72. Good to see you. Klaus, exactly. Yukeko, I'm meeting, but you have more important news. No, your meeting is more important. Reminds me of the Seinfeld where the guy, blew off a big meeting and he went to, catch up with Jerry, and then he he got fired and ended up working at the Kenny Rogers Roasters. So don't let me be your Seinfeld. I don't want to see Ukeko working at a Kenny Rogers Roasters from his or her highly paid executive position. I can't live with that on my conscience. Ukeko 72. Don't do it. Step back from the ledge. Take it down. Go to your meeting. Do your little song and dance. Give your little quarterly report, your little sales figures. Talk about how the new coffee cups are insulated just slightly better than the old ones and they're biodegradable. And it's going to be just great. It's going to be good for our image. It's going to be good for our bottom line. That's Ukeko 72 for Uline coffee cups. I have no idea what you do, but guys, I just woke up. I haven't had any coffee. Actually, I woke up quite a while ago, but I had to water some plants and attend to some things. Can't really think that clearly. But the point of this, guys, was to ask you guys in the comments. What do you expect the earnings report to say, and what do you expect the market makers to do, and how do you expect retail to respond? Do you think we're going to basically, my question is for my brain trust out there, no, not Klaus, investor place three do, yeah, investor. Was it that one guy, Klaus? There's this guy on Investor Place who he's supposed to be this like big stock guy for like 40 years. I forget his name offhand, but he's been bashing the SoFi stock for years. Investor Place in general is probably the biggest source of SoFi bashing online. And they constantly write those articles like 7 stocks to sell now before your penis falls off, or, you know, 3 stocks to stop your house from getting termites, and 2 to sell to not get herpes. Like, some of their articles are just, it's like basically implying that if you don't sell SoFi in the next 5 minutes, basically you're gonna, die of a horrible disease, and your wife's gonna leave you, and blah blah blah. So, take anything at Investor Place with a big grain of turds, because those guys are complete douchebags. Um, but anyway, guys, so let me just kick this thing off. I'm looking for a loss of 2 to 3 cents. Really looking at 2 cents. I think the business has been stronger than people think. I don't think we're going to see a huge uptick in defaults. I don't even think we're going to see any uptick in defaults in these personal loans, guys. The market, these analysts continue to either intentionally misrepresent or not understand the nature of the SoFi borrower, in my opinion, guys. People sitting on $175,000 incomes and 750 credit scores are generally, I'm not saying this is not going to happen. I'm not saying there's going to be no defaults, but they're generally not going to destroy their credit. And it's not because they're morally superior, and those of us that pay our bills and have good jobs, we're all, wonderful people. Most of us are horrible. Let's face it. Like, you guys wouldn't let anybody in traffic. You probably wouldn't, pee on a stranger if they were on fire. Most of you guys are probably complete self-centered narcissistic D-bags. Um, but be that as it may, I mean, I love you guys. I'm not sure, where I was going with this, but the point is, guys, what do you think the ER is going to be? I'm hoping, not hoping, I'm looking for 2 cents. I'm looking and hoping, hoping and looking and hoping. Hello and welcome, looking and hoping, but I'm looking for a loss of 2 cents per share, and I'm looking for the stock to move up and find support above the $10 level, guys. The $10 level it's not just psychological at 10, it's such a huge number. Um, in every way, shape, and form, just in our own minds with stocks, many other things. Probably it's one of the most critical levels. Just in the human mind to buy. When the stock goes above 10, it sort of, clicks the target. Below 5, you're a penny stock. In that 5 to 10 range, in people's minds, it's like, this thing could be a penny stock. They authorize a reverse split. There's so much going on through people's minds. If the stock, where it gets back above that IPO, that SPAC offering price, just call it an IPO, just kind of for brevity, trying to explain to all, any new people what a SPAC is and why you should never buy into one, and why they all, went to, why you bought Microvast and Hylian, why Hylian ran to 50, but I can't believe I sold Hylian that high, guys. It's like $1. I feel bad for people that bought that stock at like $50. I mean, there's some dumpskis out there, but I sell you shares and learn a thing or two. But in any case, guys, so I think after if we hit that 2 cent, why is 5 cents like the street's looking for 6 cents, guys? We've had a 5 cent loss the last 2 quarters. A third quarter at 5 cents, or God forbid worse, it really topples the growth story, guys. I mean, the whole thing I've been selling you is that SoFi is being able to overperform under horrible conditions, under the most challenging conditions. And that growth story just does not hold up if they continue to stall and make the same earnings per share, even if the street is looking for something worse. It doesn't matter, guys. Like, SoFi sets up these beats, these numbers are all canned. Obviously, they could dial in, more profit by reducing certain types of compensation just on the books. It doesn't really affect cash flows, but it certainly affects dilution, earnings per share. Um, so I like Noto and Lapointe and the brain trust over there to realize that 5 cent loss this last quarter is just not going to be good enough. The stock, I mean, let's face it, guys, the stock 5 cents last quarter was a significant beat, and it was a tough quarter, guys. I mean, there were so many things just absolutely hammering the SoFi stock, and to come in with that solid beat, and then you remember what happened, guys. These big turd grades, these dumb grades, Wedbush cutting from 8 to 5, and then 5 to 250 overnight. Like, they can you imagine reading that earnings report for last quarter and deciding that the value of SoFi should be, a third or less than a third of what you thought it was like 2 weeks before? I mean, and then your rationalizations for that are, they might have to raise more money if their business goes bad, or they're going to have to change their accounting system and their book value will be reduced by 60% and they'll go out of business. And you're like, what? What are you? I mean, I remember touchdown Danny Dolev from Mizuho going out and going like, his basic response is like, what the fuck are these clowns talking about? Like, this isn't even a thing. You're not legally allowed to change your accounting system, like, unless it's some extraordinary measure, and not, holding some loan, not selling loans. I mean, management has explained this over and over. They're making an extra 2 points return on the capital. It's an extra 2 points return on the capital. It's that simple. Why would there be so much demand for upstarts loans when they have shitty borrowers on consumer loans, and SoFi has really, really solid borrowers with somewhat larger loans over longer terms? There's much more profit in these SoFi loans, much less uncertainty. The rationale for these cuts didn't make any sense. So you have to realize, guys, if market makers want to attack a stock, it does not matter what the facts and fundamentals say. It does not matter what the earnings report said. If they can get a couple of a couple of analysts with good names beside their analyst house, whether that be Wedbush, whether that be Compass Point, whether that be, JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley, and then they can get the media to just amplify that message that the earnings report had red flags. You'll see that. You'll see up, they beat by 5 cents. They beat top and bottom line. They had record EBITDA. They're getting closer to profit. Everything's on track, just like management's telling us it's going to be. But, but, it's always a but. Red flags. Choppy waters on the horizon. No more smooth sailing for SoFi, because SoFi should be valued as a bank. And then Noto comes out with the receipts, with the statistics. Watch his last interview, guys. He goes over why they're wrong. Just, it's not opinion, just on the math. He's like, if you're looking at these multiples, we're still undervalued as a bank, putting zero value on Galileo, Technesis, these companies we just spent like over $2 billion on, that are responsible for 20% of our revenue. You're not even talking about that. You're not even talking about the growth in deposits, in direct deposit. Direct deposit is one of the most valuable goddamn things to a bank. SoFi is crushing those numbers unbelievably. Every time they go on, LaPointe, Noto, they're talking about direct deposit growth. They're like, well, you should be valued as a bank. What other banks growing their deposits at this rate, guys? They like a year and a half ago, they barely had any deposits, none. And now they're one of the top 100 banks in the United States and one of the fastest growing banks in the United States. And they're one of the most highly rated banks in the United States, guys. How does this make any sense? How does anything make any sense? How can I wrap my little pea brain around what these people do to steal money from you feeble minded retail dopes? Guys, let's take a look at the chart. I don't really think that. You guys are the best. What I think is going to happen, guys, the stock is going to make a move up toward $10 before the ER. And this stock back at $10 after the road we've traveled over the last couple of years, smart money was buying this stock above 10. Noto was buying this stock above 10. Even the smartest of the smart money, Danny Deals, your humble host, have bought a few shares above 10. Shame on me. Chasing that FOMO like a big fat kid chasing a slice of chocolate cake, chasing the ice cream man. Happy music. Ice cream man's going about 2 miles an hour, stopping every, few houses. I'm just like, had to go inside, try to get a dollar, try to talk my mom out of a dollar and try to make her think it's not for the ice cream man because I'm supposed to be on a diet. And, she eventually gives me the dollar because she's just tired of listening to me, but she knows, like, I'm not going to be able to catch that truck. I want one of those red, white, and blue bars. Please, sir. It's like, we're out of the red, white, and blue bars. He's like, you want a creamsicle? No. I wanted the red, white, and blue Patriot Pop. I chased this truck for 4 blocks. He's like, I'm sorry, you chubby little bastard. Better luck next time. Our ice cream man was a guy smoking a cigar. Sounded like a New York City cab driver. But anyway, guys, I haven't looked over at this screen here where all you people are. Let's see if anybody is watching this fabulous broadcast, and let's see what the SoFi stock is doing today. Guys, these turds pushed it down below $9 right at the bell, stopped out a few turds. Like I said, I don't think many people are putting these stop losses on anymore. Volume, we're 25 minutes into trading. Volume is fairly heavy. 4 million shares. That's not heavy for the SoFi stock. I mean, this thing could come out and trade 10 or 20 million in that first 30 minutes. But the stock is looking very, very strong, guys. Up 13 cents or 11 cents. God, this thing moves fast. And what is this chart telling me? Nothing. I don't know. As far as the options, let's take a look at these calls. Calls, balls to the walls. Yeah, the action is sitting at 950 and 10. I mean, I think market makers are expecting the stock to make a little run up in advance of earnings. It won't be like, I think it'll be a lot more cautious than last time because I think once bitten, twice shy, guys. You're not going to get me twice. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, as the old nursery rhyme goes. Um, but anyway, guys, low volume here. When I see a little bit of a lower volume on these calls, of course, it's very early, guys. Morons are still buying. Morons are still sleeping. So they're going to get up and, buy the shit out of these. What usually happens every week is market makers get into some of these calls. They push up the stock a bit, get out of the calls, dump the calls on retail investors, and then kill the calls at the end of the week, and they just make money like 3 different ways on that. And this is why I wish many retail investors would just not buy options. I don't, if you got to sell some covered calls, you got to buy some leaps here and there to, make your money go a little bit further. I have no issue with that. But buying these short-term calls, these should be used as like a hedging strategy. You have to know how to use them. Just buying them and hoping the stock is going to go up a whole ton in the next like 3-4 days, 2-3 days, I just don't think is a very viable strategy for investment. Certainly not to make money. Anyway, guys, I used a bit of a ruse. I lured you here under false pretense that I was going to read your comments about the ER and give a crap what you guys said. So let me pretend to do that. Going back here. Okay, guys, let's start off with some predictions. We have Jeremiah Derek, bold prediction. Ooh, 1 cent. 1 cent in the money this quarter. Wow. Jeremiah Derek looking for a 1 cent gap net profit this quarter. I like it. Um, I second that emotion. Doug N. ER prediction will be within striking distance of profitability, losing 1 cent per share. It'll make Q3 profitability a certainty and will scare off the shorts. Selling diamond hands options to get stupid rich. Hey, I like to invest with Henry too. I didn't work at Goldman Sachs. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, you guys just buy options. Like, we're going to use a strangle strategy. Like, I don't know, guys. I mean, those option strategies are completely viable and they're legit, and options traders make a lot of money. I am just not an options trader. So God bless those of you who are. I am going to stick with my long position and just go stupid. I'm going to go stupid, no hedge, no stop loss, just be totally stupid. Just buy tens and tens of thousands of shares of SOFI and just hold on to them. I keep them all under my mattress. I didn't work at Goldman Sachs. I worked at Goldman Snacks. You know, we made pretzels, trail mix. I was the trail mix guy. You need to be real delicate with trail mix because the nuts can crack, the fruits can get smooshed. I massage that trail mix. You know what I mean? Um, Anyway, guys, I don't know where I'm going with that bit. Roland Dubs, hello from the Raider Nation. Welcome and hello and hello and welcome. Guys, much like the Raiders, SoFi is committed to excellence. They show great pride and poise. And in fact, much like the Raiders are the greatest team in the history of sports, I believe SoFi will become one of the greatest banks in the history of banks. It's a bit of an odd corollary, but good morning, Roland Dubs. Hello. Klaus Baum. I got a yup from Klaus. Andrew Orberek, ER will be -2. That's my number as well, but definitely a beat with good guidance. Price will either run up on earnings, try to push back down, or flat into earnings and spike after. Hold on either way. All right. I'm going to listen to Andrew. I was probably going to sell all my shares, but once I read that comment, I'm going to hold all my shares. Thank you, Andrew. You brought me down off the ledge again. Options is trash. Options is cabbage. Options is trash. We trash. You trash. Everybody's trash. Don't buy options. Kaus Perez. Chaos. Kaus. Good morning, Mr. Poco Mas. Good morning, Mr. Perez. How are you? Strong arm trading. I like it. I don't have my played tennis yesterday. If I flex my strong arm, it's probably going to cramp and fall off. But anyway, guys, that's the SoFi stock. I just wanted to check in with everybody. I do have to get some actual work done, but I'm going to try to check in with you guys a little more often on these streams. I miss you guys. God, you're an attractive, intelligent bunch of people. It's just unbelievable. There are over 63,000 people watching the stream. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 19. Close. Small mistake. Billy Polk. Great live stream. What's up, Army? Billy Polk in the house. New investor. Love to see new investors trying to get smart. Reminder, don't listen just to people on YouTube. Do your own research. I really like SoFi stock. I invest in weird penny stocks, biotech startups, just different stuff, guys. I invest probably a little bit different than your average bear, and that's okay. But just the thing with investing is you don't have to do it like me. You don't have to do it like anybody else. You don't have to do it like Warren Buffett. Just be smart. Don't be emotional. Don't be trading all the time. Don't feel like you have to buy and sell stocks every day, guys. You know, buy twice a month. Buy quality. Think about what you're buying. Think about when you're buying it. Think about your entry points. Never chase. Guys, that's a great rule for life. It's a great rule for investing. Never, ever chase. Ever. As much as I like SoFi, guys, if SoFi ran up to like 17 bucks on some big news tomorrow, I'm not going to buy at 17. I'm not going to buy a stock after it 3x's. I don't care what it is. I mean, maybe it'll go ahead and 10x, but that's not my experience. My experience is things always revert to the mean. Things always come back down to earth. And at the end of the day, a share price, market cap reflects what that company's doing, what the quality of that company is, what the future free cash flows that company will generate. Guys, that's all that matters. I believe SoFi is going to be a free cash flow machine. Um, but you have to think about what you were doing. Why do you own SoFi? I don't think this stock is going to go crazy and start paying dividends for many years. I mean, if you look, even the projections of management, like they're not going to be bringing in a ton of cash for the next couple of years. So this stock is going to require patience. This stock is for the sober long term investor who wants a huge winner down the road when they retire. This to me is not a get rich quick stock, and the price action over time has certainly proved that. But I think this company is of an extremely high quality, way better than Upstart, Affirm, Robinhood, any of those trash cabbage companies for broke millennials and other turds and ne'er do wells. Guys, Klaus, good advice. Thank you, Klaus. I'm just like, guys, just don't be doing too much. That's the problem with investing. You're doing too much. You always worry about things and you sell it at the wrong time, or you're chasing stocks and you buy at the wrong time. Guys, do your research. Establish a spreadsheet, a database of stocks that you like, and then watch for FUD. I mean, there was no greater opportunity than with SoFi after the last ER. I saw that stock marching up. I saw them, hitting their goals, hitting their numbers, continuing to execute the growth story, holding up. And then, you see this false narrative and the stock pushed back down into the fours, guys. I think that was the buying opportunity of a lifetime. And those are the kind of things you have to watch out for. And if you put your chips in at 450, you don't have to worry about what to do now. You don't have to worry if the stock goes to 8 or to 10 because you're in under 5, guys. But it doesn't have to be SoFi. That's my point, guys. I love the SoFi stock, but don't chase. Like, there's another stock coming. There's other good companies. SoFi is not the only good, innovative company out there. I believe they're the best in the banking, fintech, financial space. That's why I continue to put my money here and nowhere else. Like, I have some PayPal that I've had, for a long, long time, but it's like not even like 5% of my SoFi position. Um, but I would never buy up. I mean, up starts up 6% today. It's just going crazy. Affirm up, up, up. Um, and of course, the SoFi stock, they're going to do their very level best to hold it down. There's still a big short on the stock. Stock is still moving up. Guys, let's just take you over to the short interest, get you an update over there. Over there. Over there. Guys, shorts actually come down a little bit, so it's 15. Free float on loan has come way down. Shares on loan have come down just radically. So, guys, tell me, some of the smart people, Klaus, Anthony Walker, Kaus, is that Chaos or Kaus? Kaus, how do I pronounce that? Hey, Mr. and Poco Mas, I was born in Los Angeles. I went to LAI, go Romans. Now I live in Nebraska. Anyway, hey, what's up? That's awesome, man. I was born down here in the South Bay. Not South Bay, San Francisco, but South Bay, Los Angeles. Think the LAX area. Um, and yeah, I lived in Northern California. Then I'm been back here in the Los Angeles area for a long, long time, and I just love it down here. How's Nebraska? I have actually been to Nebraska a couple of times on business. Um, and yeah, it's a beautiful state if you like flat, farmland and a lot of corn. But I don't really know that much about Nebraska, but I can't imagine that would be a bit of a culture shock being born and raised out in Los Angeles and then heading out to Nebraska. But I can guarantee you the housing prices are probably a lot more favorable than trying to pay $2 million for a shack that you will then have to fight the termites for the title to the house. Um, I used to be a tagger. Chaos, nice. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, dude, you can't get away if you're tagging in Nebraska. They put you in front of a firing squad. That's just not done out there. You tag in Los Angeles, it's like pretty much accepted as like an art form almost at this point. I saw like that Hermosa Beach. They just had like put all the walls in the city and like opened them up to different like graffiti artists, and they had them all tagged. They painted all these beautiful murals. So cool. Sometimes, guys, it's easier to recruit people onto your team than fight them and put them in jail. Especially if there are creative, good people and they just happen to like to spray paint things. Sometimes you give young people an outlet, and You give young people something positive to do, they might actually surprise you. You give them nothing to do, you give them no hope, you give them dog shit schools like a lot of people have out here in Los Angeles. You give them, either your job is you're either got to be a aerospace engineer for SpaceX or you got to be cleaning rooms at the Radisson Hotel. There's nothing in between. They give you no job train. Guys, it's a lot of kids are hopeless out there. So, I mean, you know, I'm not saying there's any excuse for illegal activity, but you got to get a little bit creative, get people thinking. You could find a tagger, get the tagger into murals, get the tagger into digital arts, teach the tagger code, get the tagger doing websites, all this stuff, graphic arts. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go with things. Things you can either turn something into a positive or you can turn it into a negative. I think way too often in society we're trying to turn everything into negatives instead of trying to see a silver lining, see a positive, and work it from that angle. But that's how I try to work from life, guys. Try to see a little bit of positive in things and not try to just tear things down. I don't know how I got started on this Tiger talk, but anyway, Chaos, good to see you, my friend. Retired from an aerospace job in Carson, then moved to Branson. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I have a lot of friends and tenants in the aerospace industry, particularly like in El Segundo area, Manhattan Beach, and boy, that industry is thriving. I'm up here in the Bay. Where'd you live? I lived in the Central Valley, Rolling Dubs, in Cowtown, near Modesto, out in. So it's like not really Bay Area at all, but we used to go to Berkeley a lot, and there's really nothing to do where I'm from. Negativity sells in the me. That's right, Billy. That's why you see it because everybody wants you to believe that like chaos is, society's breaking down. I hear this on the news every day. We should all hate each other. If it used to be like Democrats and Republicans, it was like we argued a little bit over taxes and we all kind of, we were all like one country. And I don't know, guys. I mean, when I go out, I see my neighbors, I see my friends, I see people, complete strangers. We all get along. We all help each other. We live in a community. I just traveled down south. Amazing people. It's like red states. I'm from Los Angeles. Couldn't. It's like I got along with everybody. Everybody was awesome. The America I see is just not falling apart. Quite the contrary. It's coming back, I think, stronger and stronger than ever. But the media needs us afraid. The media needs us in camps. The media needs us hating each other. And I'm just not going to play along, guys. I'm going to try to live my life, be successful, be positive, treat people right, and that's the America I see when I'm out there, and that's the America I want to live in. So, guys, I don't know what any of this has to do with SoFi. Brentwood, nice. Yeah, Bay Area is really nice area. I know again, that's everybody's saying, the San Francisco is falling apart, and I know there's a lot of problems there, but the Northern California Bay Area is still an absolutely stunning place. You have the wine country up there, big trees up there. It's just amazing, guys. I love California, as you can tell. Where are you going to cover banks and earnings? Sorry, Anthony. Yeah, it's I haven't even really been able to drink my coffee. That was basically that was really all I had, guys. I'm surprised any of you are still watching this. I'm just kind of blabbering at people in the comments, but yeah, SoFi guys up, making a really nice strong move. Of course, Upstart leading the way. We are up 20 cents or 2% on the day, and again, that is on pretty low volume, guys, of only 6 million shares. So this is when I see the volume sort of moderate to low and the buying pressure really, really high. There's basically just no sellers, and it makes it really hard to manipulate the stock. I don't think they stopped anybody out at 9, and I think retail came in and bought a lot of those shares. I think a lot of the things that market makers have been very successful with in the past year plus, making money on the SoFi stock, are no longer working. And I think they're a little bit trapped in the short coming into earnings. And I think Noto owns their soul, guys. And that's just the way it is. Let's see if there's any new news. Nothing really new on Seeking Alpha. Let's see if there's any new news over on Tip Ranks. SoFi stock, Morgan Stanley time to sell. Wall Street's top 10 calls this week. SoFi slips as student loan forgiveness reappears. SoFi stock could drop over 60% from here. SoFi stock rally continues. SoFi downgraded. Yeah, a lot of negative FUD over here on SoFi stock sell off. Big investors jump ship. Should you? This is maybe the article Klaus was talking about on Investor Place. This guy, it's Louis Navalier, I think. He's yeah, here he is. Okay, yeah, Louis Navalier. This guy bashes SoFi stock, literally on cue. He's one of these guys like he's an investing legend. He's one of these guys like Mister Rogers. He's just really old. He's a crank. He's like, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of examples of sort of these old guys like Nader. He's just been around forever. He's like disheveled with gray hair, so you assume he knows stuff. But anyway, let's take a look at his arguments and see if they have any merits. A number of financial whales divested SoFi. SoFi would benefit from resumption of student loan payments. Investors might consider a moderately sized position. Okay, so that's strange. Like SoFi stocks sell off, big investors jump ship. It's like really negative headline. And then he's like, okay, you might consider buying a small position. A handful of large scale financial traders reduced or eliminated their positions in SoFi technology stock. Should this be a deal breaker for prospective investors? Not necessarily. Pardon me. As a high court ruling could have a major positive impact on SoFi technologies. When the hell is this from? The Okay, so yeah, that high court decision already happened. Um, it's been fascinating to watch SoFi. Um, the market disliked SoFi for a while and then suddenly favor the company. I agree. It's not fascinating. It's like they flipped it. Market makers flipped, the media flipped. Stock traders can overreact sometimes, setting shares too low or too high. No, this was not traders. This was all pre-planned. That last run down to the fours was all dialed up and pre-planned and coordinated. I think anybody who doesn't see that is really just has their head buried in the sand. Sensible investors can avoid these traps by simply focusing on the facts. They can avoid disaster by keeping any share position in SoFi Technologies down to a reasonable size. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't, I personally have a huge position in SoFi, and it is not reasonably sized. It is oversized, overweight. But in any case, let's go on. Why did some big investors dump SoFi stock? Not long ago, Investor Place contributor Touchdown Larry Raymer identified three bank stocks that have big investors running for the exits. It's worthwhile to note large scale share purchases and sales. So let's see who divested. Big names, right? Virginia Retirement System sold 29. Guys, I have more shares than that. George Soros hedge fund, Soros Fund Management, one. Okay, I mean, Soros selling out of 1.25. That's a bit of a position, but it's not much for Soros. Jeffries sold 91,000 shares. Okay, that's less than $1 million worth of shares. Other billionaire investor Ken Griffin, Steve Cohen, 3.9. So, okay, that Ken Griffin, that's a big position, pretty big position. There's no way to know for certain why they unloaded. It's entirely possible they were just taking profits. Yeah, guys, I mean, when these hedge funds see stock double overnight or over a very short period of time, they generally take profits. Hedge funds are not sitting out here for 10 years trying to, retire. They're not hedge funds don't retire, guys. They're not It's not a retirement stock. It's not a millionaire forever stock. That's just not how hedge funds work. So I think he's right. I think they are taking profits. There's no way to know for certain. Remember, it's entirely possible. After all, SoFi stock doubled in price from the beginning of 2023 to mid June. Maybe some of those financial whales know something most amateur traders don't. SoFi, it's not a terrible idea to maintain a small position size in SoFi Technology shares if you choose to have one at all. So yeah, it is basically just more a little FUD bashing turd nonsense. But in any case, let's go. Let's just click on over and see what type of FUD they're selling at Investor Place. Why this I think is the article Klaus was talking about. Why these three stocks are the worst ways to play fintech right now. SoFi stock sell off. Three doomed software stocks destined for disaster. I think that was the one too. God, they have a lot of FUD out there. Whether fintech or bank, why SoFi stock may be unstoppable. All right. Let's get this article going. Oh, Chris McDonald. Old McDonald had a farm. EIEI by SOFI. Fee fi fo fum. SOFI stock has you under its thumb, to paraphrase Mick Jagger. The change has come. Okay, let's just take a look at this article since it's a pump or puff piece, and that's what we like to do. Chaos, hit the like. Come on, guys. Takes 1 second. Get your. If I can crush your head between my fingers and give you one Poco Mas, you can hit that like button for Chaos. Come on. Guy moved to Nebraska for you guys. He's out of LA. He's not tagging anymore. He just wants you to hit the like button. Jesus, have a heart. Motley Fool pushed a positive article about, yeah, Motley Fool pumps, Billy pumps SoFi about 50 times a day. I am 100%, 110% SoFi up, I believe. Yep, I agree. Bot 101 finally reached my goal, 15,000 shares. Wow, nice position. Congratulations, Bot 101. That is a retirement millionaire maker type of position, and I like it. Let's get on with this fluff piece by Chris McDonald. SoFi Technologies stock fell despite a favorable rating, U.S. Supreme Court. SoFi has faced a wave of sell ratings in recent weeks, impacting its performance. SoFi Technologies has become a comprehensive financial platform. SoFi Technologies stock surged by 89% this year because of favorable business conditions, including a student loan moratorium. Investors divided over how to assess the business of fintech commercial bank because it provides a variety of monetary services. This article examines SoFi's business strategy and assess its investment practices. Let's dive in! Exclamation point. Any article that says "let's dive in" with an exclamation point is going to be a total piece of shit. But anyway, it is a pumper fluff piece, so I will respect that because pretty much my whole life is a SoFi plumper, Freudian slip, pumper fluff piece. Let's not get any weird Urban Dictionary terms out there. Around 44 million Americans hold federal student loan debt. Whether it should be paid is a contentious issue. Biden administration wants to give relief, but don't want to give relief. Highest court in the land remains uncertain before Supreme Court's decision. SoFi stock knows analysts, including Giuliano Bologna, the Bologna sandwich from Compass Point Research, and Reginald Smith from J.P. Morgan, expressed the view the stock's impressive performance may have been excessive, just overdone, guys, just overheated. Just pull it back. The bologna sandwich likes it at 5. Reginald Smith, he's a huge SoFi customer, huge kissing Anthony Noto's ass at the conference, but he's a 6. He's at 6. 5 and 6. That's what they like. That's the targets. Pulling it back, pulling the rug out. They noted each of the student loan repayment policies and anticipated they did not expect the court ruling to have a substantial impact on SoFi Technology. Well, SoFi Technologies has been doing great before that ruling, and they will continue to do great after the ruling either way, in my opinion. The markets seem to have taken into account Reginald Smith's observation, only small number. Yeah, it's so the refinancing opportunity with student loans is not going to be huge right now, guys. We have to understand that. Interest rates are way too high. Like, there's not a huge incentive for people to refi their student loans with SoFi right now. So it's going to be relatively small at first. As interest rates come down, it'll get bigger and bigger, but you have to be patient with this stock. Many, many ways, many, many reasons. You have to be patient with this stock. This could explain why SoFi stock declined following the Supreme Court's ruling. That doesn't explain it at all. It was FUD and downgrades and bullshit. The expected end of the student loan repayment pause has already been factored in. Coffee and the actual impact on SoFi Technologies may not be as significant as optimistic investors had anticipated. Okay. SoFi price doubled. SoFi has experienced a significant rally, doubling its price share in less than 6 months. Considering as constantly unprofitable, is challenged to justify its extreme short-term optimism. Stock's surge can be attributed to factors such as revenue from its student loan refinancing and the company's resilience compared to regional banks. Actually, the increase is because of all the new deposits and all the new direct deposits and all the money they're making on loans. That's why the stock went up, because the company is killing it. That's why. Show me another bank growing their deposits at that rate, at that ratio, or their direct deposits. Show me another company, another chartered bank with that percentage of new checking account customers signing up for direct deposit. You're just not going to see it because they can't offer the interest rates SoFi can, because they have tens of thousands of branches they're paying rent on to some greedy landlords, and they just can't do it, guys. That's why they pay you 0.001% interest and SoFi pays you 4.5 or whatever the hell it is today. What now? Debate surrounding SoFi revolves around whether it should be classified as a booming fintech or a traditional bank. SoFi carries a much higher valuation than major banks like JP Morgan and Bank of America. Again, SoFi is growing its top line by like 25%. These banks are completely stagnant. However, it is important to consider a company's growth prospects, evaluating its valuation. Established banks show stable but modest growth rates. SoFi has experienced remarkable revenue growth of 151% over 3 years. Therefore, its higher valuation is justified by its rapid expansion. Guys, read that again. SoFi has experienced remarkable revenue growth of 151% over 3 years. Therefore, its higher valuation is justified by its rapid expansion. Saying you got to price it like a bank, as if it's not growing, as if Galileo doesn't exist, guys. It's absolutely illogical bullshit. Despite the need for profitability, SoFi will benefit from positive factors like conclusion of the student loan moratorium and the swift expansion of its financial resources. Guys, the swift expansion of its services, more products, more wheel strategy is much more important than the student loan moratorium. Student loans are just another way to bring in customers and get them on the wheel. We don't even make that much refinancing student loans, guys. Its technology business presents an opportunity in the banking as a service sector, projected to grow at a rate of 17% annually until 2030. With its rapid growth and promising technology ventures, SoFi appears to be a strong, long-term investment option. And I could not agree more with Chris McDonald. He had a brief acting career in the 90s, and now he is writing these brilliant puff pieces for Investor Place. Let's see, guys. JBJ, what up, Danny D? Not much, guys. Just wanted to check in with you guys on a little live stream this morning. Have not done one in a long, long time, and I just missed you guys. I can't quit you guys. And of course, SoFi Technologies just marching up. Lot of buying pressure. Again, volume is fairly moderate. Only 9 million shares traded in the first hour or so. Not been quite an hour trading, 53 minutes. And we're already up a nice quarter, 2 bits, $2, 2.5%. And the chart again looks very, very strong, guys. We see this spooky ghost pattern, this spooky cartoon tree pattern on the 5-day. They're doing their very, very best, guys. But 885, and then the dump pushed down to 885 again. The dump could only push to $9. I just don't think there is any appetite to sell this stock under $8.91. I don't think there's any appetite to sell the stock under 9. I think people realized SoFi has been executing, growing, and doing extremely well since they went public from the SPAC. That price was $10. I think, under 4 and 5 was an absolute buy of the century. And I still have a buy on the stock right now. I have a target price of $13.75 at Strong Arm Trading. It's a strong buy. Guys, that's about all I've got for you today, unless anyone has anything else brilliant to say. This turd has been going on a little bit too long, and like a raisin in the sun, a turd can dry up. But guys, the only other thing I wanted to mention was that I believe this earnings report is going to be significantly different because we don't have all that overhang from interest rates, guys. I think those last inflation numbers made more Fed rate hikes this next couple months highly unlikely. I think they're going to have to let those numbers sink in and see what happens. We just saw, some of the lowest inflation data we've seen in a long time. I think it's I think the Fed tries to scare you with what they say, but I don't really think more immediate rate hikes are in our future. Maybe you disagree, but I think the Fed sometimes will signal a rate hike and then take a wait and see approach, just using that as more a kind of FUD to cool off the economy. I don't know, Roland Dubs. I feel like they're going to try it just because I feel like these market makers are just programmed. I don't think they have any new ideas. I think their bosses still hate the SoFi stock and hate SoFi as a company. But the problem is, too, there's a lot of greed on the other side of those trading desks. And if they get the idea that SoFi is going to be profitable in Q3 and that their growth is going to, continue, and that student loans and then their mortgage business is going to go, and then their technology business is going to go. I mean, for me, what I need is I need two things, guys. I just need two things. Something bar? No, I need net gap profitability, guys. I need. Gimme, I need it. I need net gap profitability. Two, I need a big fish or two landed by Galileo. Oh, oh God. Landed that son of a bitch. Like, guys, let's get a Wells Fargo on the deck. Let's get a big regional bank on the deck. Let's talk about some moves into foreign markets. Guys, even if we're not going to be providing banking and credit cards and stuff in foreign markets, I don't see why we can't provide software. I don't see why we can't provide banking as a service. I don't see why we can't provide our technology stack. Let's get out there. Let's hit this market now. We've bought these companies, we've integrated them. They are the best in the business. Let's land these clients. Guys, if we have net gap profitability and we have big fish at Galileo, we have 1375 and a big fuck you to Wedbush, to the shorts, the bears. And I believe at that time, the SoFi stock is unstoppable and all the games will stop. We need those two things because they spent a lot of money on Galileo and Technesis. And I think with the declining accounts of five last time, it just provided an opportunity to spread a lot of FUD. So I don't care about the absolute numbers of accounts at Galileo. I care about what those accounts are and what kind of money we can make from them. So Noto talked about, they're talking to 12 big clients. We need to see some contracts come of that. We need to close some of that. If our company is really that good, we should be able to close some of these clients. And if we're not able to in the next, year or less, I will become concerned. Because if we're the best of breed, why aren't people signing up with us? Is it because we're a competitor or SoFi? I don't really think so. Galileo operates independently, and it's not going to be like, okay, we give some revenue to Galileo, that's going to, push SoFi to take over our business at Bank of America. It's just, I don't think it's really that connected. Um, SoFi Bank is going to do what SoFi Bank does. Galileo is going to do what Galileo does. And the fruits of those labors will be returned to SoFi shareholders. But I don't think that will make, say, like regional banks afraid of using SoFi, that they're going to take their customers. I think there's a bit of a disconnect there in the minds of our customers. At least I hope so. Paul Stevens, keep speaking the truth. I will try, sir. That's the only thing I know how to do because I just talk, and then obviously there's no script, no filter. I know this has been a bit of a taxing live stream if you're really trying to listen to it. Klaus, yep, Klaus, I agree. That's really what matters, guys. I mean, they spent, gave a ton of stock, ton of dilution to buy Technesis and Galileo, and it's got to pay off. I mean, I know it's going to take a little while. I know it's not going to be like an immediate windfall, and also there are a lot of cost savings. Remember, guys, I told you in a video, my credit card account just changed over to SoFi Bank. It had been with Bank of Nebraska or Bank of somewhere, somewhere in the Midwest. One of those banks that they do credit cards for other, for other institutions, kind of branding credit cards or whatever. Just moved to SoFi like 2 weeks ago, guys. So the SoFi is just integrating SoFi with Galileo. I don't even think they're completely done. I think that's like another year in that process. So we're going to realize a lot of cost savings as SoFi because we own Galileo and Technesis, but that's not the goal with that, guys. We could have bought those, sir. We're not going to spend $2 billion just to get some, cost reductions on our side. We got to sell those services. We got to land those big clients. And I think that is just around the corner. If not Q2, Q3, and Q4, I think we're going to see those contracts come in. I don't know if they'll be able to announce exactly who those clients are, but I think once they start using the stack, it's going to be, pretty obvious. But that could definitely take some time because these integrations and changeovers, you guys, if you're in, systems like Consup and Nuciphone, you will know that these things take time. And look, it's taken like, you know, a year or more to integrate the companies together and then just get SOFI on them. It's taken a couple of years. So, these things are not overnight. But again, I keep saying it, guys. SOFI is a stock for the patient investor who's willing to weather the ups and downs and wants to hold the stock for a number of years. And if that's not you, if this is a trading and stuff, I don't recommend the stock. I recommend the stock for people that believe in the fundamentals of the company and people who want to retire wealthy and build long-term wealth. I think this is the stock for you. Um, Trading it short term and stuff, that's just anybody's guess, guys. That's not a fundamental thing. If it's a technical thing, if it's a day trading thing, whatever, I can't speak to that. I hope you make money, but it's just not my strategy, and I find it foolhardy. In any case, guys, thank you. I think that's my friend from Korea. Thank you very much. Thanks for checking in. Purple emoji guy. What's your name, brother? Spell it out phonetically if you can, in English. Just so I can give you a big shout out to Korea. I have a few viewers in South Korea. South Korea is on my freedom wall. As you can see, guys, these are just flags of countries that I believe are standing up for liberal, small d democratic values, such as freedom of speech, freedom of expression, women's rights, all that stuff, standing up against the totalitarian regimes, the evil out there in the world, holding the line. Big shout out to South Korea this morning. Hope you guys are doing great out there. Glad to see some SOFI investors from South Korea. Have a great day, Yukeko. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on. Roland Dubs, appreciate you guys. Klaus, appreciate everybody. Bot 101, no not. Who else did we have in here? Billy Polk, good to see you. Chaos, good to see you. Anthony Walker, good to see you, man. Sorry I was a little off topic, Anthony. That's just how I roll. Good advice. Thanks a lot, guys. Who else? Andrew, thanks, Andrew. Doug, thanks a lot, Doug. Derek, thanks, Jeremiah. I don't know if I've seen you before. Thanks for coming into my live stream, my friend. No, not Yukeko. These are all the usual suspects. And of course, M. Russo215, who is always a supporter. And thanks for Klaus for actually saying some intelligent stuff. Klaus brings he just brings the sort of intellectual level of my channel up a couple of notches. And that's something we desperately need here at Un Poco Mas. But guys, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you all this morning. It's a SOFI stock. They're pushing it down a little bit again, up 18 cents or 2% on the day. Upstart that cabbage trash for people in trailer parks buying Peloton bikes on credit they can't afford and leasing Teslas on money they can't afford. That stock is going through the roof. We're struggling to go up 2%. But guys, we've had a hell of a run here. I think we'll see buying pressure into earnings. I like the stock to be pushing up toward $10 before earnings. And then depending on what happens, I think we're either going to overcome the FUD and have a nice run from there, or if earnings are 4 cents, 5 cents, we're going to get absolutely crushed and kicked right in the nuts like you guys enjoy so much. Thank you, guys. It's the SOFI stock. It's Un Poco Mas. My name's Danny Deals for Stock Karen and Kane Lopez. I want to say happy Monday. Hope you guys have a great one. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk again at you real soon. Buy you some SOFI, not financial advice. Buy SOFI. Buy shares, you turds.